Are you a compensator? Einstein once said that if he had an hour to solve a problem, he would spend the first 55 minutes figuring out the right question. I feel the same way. I like to find the right question so then we can seek the right answers. And when we talk about are you a compensator, what I'm talking about is how do you respond to exercise? Now, most of us have heard about the concept of energy balance for losing weight. Some people shorten that as CICO, calories in, calories out. There was a study that was done back in 2008 that found some very important information about why some people respond very well to exercise and why some people don't. If we're talking in terms of losing weight, correct? Many people, myself included, have struggled with their weight. And so when they start a diet and exercise program, the goal is to lose weight, or even better, to lose fat. So this study was done to try to figure out what was going on with a group of individuals when they started an exercise program. So let's talk about some of the things about this group of people. Glasses on. They chose 35 obese sedentary individuals. Now what's really important is they put them on a 12-week exercise program, and also they did look at their dietary changes. They were told to keep their diet constant, and these folks were aware that that was the effort that they were making, that this was an exercise intervention. So what happened? Well, if you look at this graph, it's pretty fascinating. Well, let's first talk about the mean, the average. If you took everyone as a group, if you took all 35 as a group, the weight loss was pretty close to what was expected. All right, in terms of calories in, calories out, they arranged the amount of exercise that they were to do, and they did this in a lab, and they wore heart rate monitors, and they tested how many calories they were burning in terms of, they tested their breathing and all of this. They were going for a deficit that would come to a weight loss of about 3.7 kilograms. Now this is really interesting. Oh, and how much is that? That's about 8 pounds. If you took the entire group of 35 people and you looked at the mean, well, the loss was about 3.7 kilograms, about 8 pounds. So if you're looking at the entire study as a whole, if you're looking at these folks as a group, the average, the mean, it was close to what was predicted. Now, very often what I hear and what I've heard on my journey is, oh, no. Calories in, calories out works. If we take a group of people, they lose about as much as we predict. But if you break it down into the individuals, there is a huge difference between the people who lost the most, the people who lost the least, and the folks in the middle. And here's the range. So here's a look at this graph. So we're working, this is the baseline, and we're working down, right? We're trying to lose weight with this exercise program, correct? Well, look at the person who responded the most. The individual with the highest response lost around 15 kilograms or 33 pounds. Now, isn't that absolutely nuts? This is a 12-week intervention and somebody lost 33 pounds. But now let's go all the way to the other end of the graph where we had an individual who actually gained 2 kilograms, which is about 4.5 pounds. So this is a person who knows they're in this study to see if they can lose weight with exercise, and they end up gaining weight. Huge differential between 33 pounds lost all the way to 4.5 pounds gained. And when you take everybody as a group, it looks as if they are responding similarly to what the expectation would be. So the math says the calorie deficit that they're taking should get an average of 3.7 kilograms lost. And that is what happened. But the reality is that we went from 15 kilograms to 2 kilograms, 15 down to 2 kilograms up. So then they did break it down to say, all right, what is going on with these individuals? And they broke them down into two groups, the compensators and the non-compensators. So what did the non-compensators do? The non-compensators did not change the way they ate, and they didn't change the way they moved the rest of the day. Their appetites stayed about the same. But the compensators, well, the compensators got hungry. How much was the change? Right around 268 calories a day, sometimes even more. Now, as a small person, I'm 5'1", that is going to make a big difference in how I respond to a diet and exercise intervention. If I'm adding between 250 and 300 calories a day through compensation, I am definitely going to go between, instead of losing, that could, for me, be the difference between losing and gaining. And the most important thing is that I've discovered about myself and the people that I've worked with is how does the way I'm exercising and the way I'm eating affect my appetite? Well, now, you know, if you're watching this channel, you know that I am the sugar freedom woman. So we're not going to talk about how eating sugar and the foods that break down into sugar change my appetite or your appetite on this video. What we're looking at on this video is how exercise changes appetite. Now, here's something else that was really interesting about this study. What kind of exercise did they do? Well, they did cardio. They had choices. They wore the heart rate monitor, and their choices were treadmills, and what else did they have? Here we go. Here were their choices for exercise. They had bicycle ergometers, stepping machines, a rowing ergometer, and treadmills. So all of these were cardiovascular cardio interventions. Probably one of the reasons that they use these is it's actually, there are ways that you can certainly, we have these, you know, monitors and meters that are on cardio machines, and pretty much everybody tells you be very careful, don't set too much store by them. They can be very inaccurate, but you can measure expenditure, and this was a pretty rigorous study, and so they were measuring energy expenditure and how burning calories through testing the breath. There are ways that you can actually scientifically test how many calories you're burning with what you're expelling in the breath. So they did use this kind of intervention and protocol. But it's very important to note that all of these interventions for all 35 individuals were cardio. Now, in my personal experience, what happened, the way that I was able to overcome obesity, the magic key, what really changed for me, not just giving up sugar, but it all started with giving up cardio. I became obese after my pregnancy. I experienced insulin resistance, overeating, and I started trying to lose weight after my son was born when I got back into the gym by doing a lot of cardio. And I was doing up to 12 hours of cardio a week, and I wasn't losing any weight. I was not overcoming the obesity. And it may be, and I do believe that I am a compensator. And you might be a compensator too. This might be why you might be working with a trainer, or you might have friends who they just respond to cardio beautifully. Look at this, the one individual who lost 33 pounds in 12 weeks of doing treadmill and steppers and bicycle ergometers. I mean, look at this individual right there, dropping all of that poundage. But then look at this individual over here. Oh, look at this, body fat percentage going up. So this individual with cardio actually gained body fat. That's absolutely nuts. But you could be that one person in 35. And it could be also while you're watching this video, because maybe you are that one person in 35. So what do we do instead? I will share with you my experience was to simply give up the traditional cardio, do resistance training, high intensity interval training, and on off days do yoga in order to feel better, reduce stress, and get in that recovery. So in my case, what had to be changed was the elimination of traditional cardio, the elimination of sugar and grains, and then the addition of really good resistance exercise with excellent form and some interval training. And this is when everything came together and everything worked and allowed me to lose 70 pounds and keep it off for now 11 years. So I hope that if you have struggled with your exercise program and you've committed and you've done a 12-week commitment and you haven't lost weight, maybe you've gained weight, you could be a compensator. But the good news is I'm not just going to tell you, hey, if you're a compensator, oh gee, that's too bad, it's not going to work for you. The good news is that if you are a compensator, you can use different kinds of exercise, for me, resistance and interval training, that may help you to maintain that healthy nutrition while not increasing your appetite through exercise that makes you a compensator. If you have friends who are compensators or are wondering why one person is going to the gym and getting on the treadmill or the elliptical, or they're going to aerobics class and they're getting great results, and why you're not, you might want to share this video with them because maybe they're a compensator too. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be coming back weekly with more research, more workouts, more recipes, and ways that we can get lean and healthy without losing our minds, even if you're a compensator. Thanks for watching, and watch another video. There'll be another link to the next video, which can deal with, once again, nutrition, exercise, mindset, and recovery for a healthy and happy lifestyle. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you soon.